Yo, this is Austin from Calling Our Shot, and you see the title. Are the Sixers championship contenders? And man, I just finished watching that Lakers versus Sixers game. The Sixers pulled out the win. They needed a game winner from Tobias Harris, but Joel Embiid did his thing. But I'll break down that in a second. If you're new here, please click that like and subscribe button down below. This is Austin from Calling Our Shot, and we come back every night bringing some NBA recaps for the games that are going on. Just kind of an overall takeaway from each night. And I got to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, as that was the game I watched pretty much all the way through. And, I'm happy to see where they are progressing so far this year. Doc Rivers has them playing well, and Joel Embiid, he's playing like an MVP candidate. If you watch this game tonight, the Lakers didn't have much answers for Joel Embiid. He still did his thing. He ended up with 28 points. I mean, he's averaging 28 on the year, so right on cue. But I got to talk more about, one, Ben Simmons, and two, Tobias Harris. Ben Simmons, it seems like he only plays well against the Lakers, or at least he always plays well against them. He's very inconsistent. If you get this Ben Simmons every night, this Sixers team is a threat out in the East. But that's the problem. He's inconsistent. You could say, I'll say the same thing about Tobias Harris in a minute. But yeah, Ben Simmons, he was aggressive right out the jump. He had 6 early points, very early. And he ends up with his 31st triple-double. Like, if they get that Ben Simmons, who's aggressive and trying to get to the lane, and when he doesn't have the ball, he's fighting for offensive rebounds, extra possessions, this team is a threat to the Nets, the Bucks, any team out there in the East. I could say they could take it because no one can match up with Embiid and Simmons. And then we got Tobias Harris, who's quietly had a great start to the year and just had this game winner against the Lakers over Alex Caruso with 2 seconds left. Tobias Harris, he's in a groove. He's filling it up. But I feel like I've seen this story before. Tobias Harris always seems to have these good stretches where he's averaging 20 points, shooting like 50%, 40% from three. He always does this. But in the postseason, there's an APB out for him. You can't find him. So, him and Ben Simmons, I feel like they're best friends. They all go up and down, roller coaster ride. And being a Sixers fan, which I am not, but being a Sixers fan, I'm sure it's frustrating watching them. But hey, big win for the Sixers. Are they a threat to win an NBA championship? I would say yes. I mean, they're one of the select few teams. I'm not going to pick them to win. I'd still probably pick the Nets, who just had a big win over the Hawks today, or the Lakers too. Even though they won and beat the Lakers, they choked the lead. They were up by 14 with 4 minutes left, and then the Sixers needed a game winner to win by 1 point. You can't do that against good teams like the Lakers. It looks like the Lakers weren't even trying until the last 4 minutes. That's, props to them. The Sixers needed this win. You could see them celebrating that game winner. They needed it, and I'm happy to see them get it done. I'll break down a couple of the other games. We had Pistons versus Cavaliers. I didn't watch a minute of that, but Jeremy Grant, he's my boy. He keeps balling. If you don't know about us, we post daily articles on our website, callingourshot.com, where I give out my NBA player props that I'm betting on every night. Jeremy Grant's been a frequent flyer, and man, he has cashed almost every single night. Jeremy Grant's a stud. Andre Drummond reports that he's going to get a buyout or will get one of those and join the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know if I buy that. No pun intended, but, what's Drummond... Does he make that Nets team better? Yeah, sure, but they're still not going to play any defense. And hell, Drummond shoots... I don't know. I don't watch these games, but I don't know how Drummond's 9 for 24 from the field. The man's a big man. I don't know how he's going 9 for 24, but that's beyond me. He filled up the stat sheet with 23 and 16. Good for him as they blew out the Pistons and won by 15. Nothing to see there. Kings versus Magic, exactly what I expected to happen. Kings won that one. High-scoring game. Per usual, Kings don't play defense. De'Aaron Fox, who was another one of our player prop bets, couldn't make a basket, but almost had a triple-double. Buddy Hield getting back on track. I think they should end up trading Buddy Hield for something. Not sure what that might be, but he had 29 points. Another big game. Marvin Bagley, 16 and 12. Not too bad. He's turning it around. We'll see how he continues to progress the rest of the year. Next game, Pacers versus Hornets. Like I said, I was watching a lot of the Sixers-Lakers game, but Pacers... Sabonis, happy to see him back. No injury over their last game where he went out in the first half. So happy to see him back. A triple-double, right on cue. He's a beast. Doug McDermott off the bench, 22 shots. Goodness gracious. But filled it up, 28 points. Now the Hornets are like this. They're a very up and down team. LaMelo needs to get more playing time. Why has he got 21 minutes? James Borrego, he needs to get fired if he's going to keep doing that. And then we got Bucks Raptors. Man, Giannis is back to his stat padding days. 24, 18 rebounds, and 9 assists. Love it. They beat the Raptors, who are a little short-handed at the moment. Missing OG and I think Stanley Johnson, but at least OG because Norm Powell is starting. So, good win for the Bucks. Nuggets at Heat. Man, the Heat are reeling, and it's not their fault. They're asking Bam Adebayo to go out there and get them 25 a night, and he ain't like that. But, they could barely score 8. They scored 82 points tonight. You can tell they need Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero and all those people healthy. Hopefully they come back within the next week or so because they really need them. And then, like I talked about earlier, Nets versus Hawks. The big three, they went off today. They had to take it to overtime, which it always seems like the Hawks play their best games against these Nets. For whatever reason, they go out and they do their thing, and I think their games have gone to overtime a couple times, or the Hawks have won outright. It's kind of crazy. DeAndre Hunter continued his hot start, 21 points. John Collins, 24. Cam Reddish, low-key been pretty good. He's not getting a lot of recognition on Twitter or in the NBA world, but he's been looking good this year. Trae Young, 28 and 14, but you can't do too much when the big three has 31 points for Harden, 32 for Durant, and 26 for Kyrie Irving. I mean, come on. They're combining for, 89 points? Yeah, they'll probably win if they're going to combine for 90 points. At least I would hope so. And then, that Lakers versus Sixers game. And then the last couple games, there's a couple games pending right now. Celtics came back from a big, big deficit. They're down by 1 right now to the Spurs. Man. We could do a whole nother video about Bradley Beal and the Wizards against these Pelicans. Not just the Pelicans, but Bradley Beal's got 27. I know he's not shooting it well, 10 for 25. That's not going to get it done. Russell Westbrook's out. Zion Williamson filling up the stat sheet. Wizards are up by 7, or Pelicans are up by 17. They should coast to that win. And the Thunder versus the Suns. This is a pillow fight. I'm not watching that game. Mavericks versus Jazz. Surprised to see a big Mavs stinker right here. Donovan Mitchell entered concussion protocol. Get well soon. But yeah, Luka, he's got 18, 1, and 5 right now. Rudy Gobert's having the game of his life with 25. Probably will set a career high with that. Jesus. And yeah, then you got Timberwolves Warriors just tipped off, and that would be it. So that's all the NBA games. Sorry I couldn't break down the last couple that are playing right now, but I wanted to get in here and talk about that Lakers versus Sixers game and see what you guys think about the Sixers. Where do you think they can go this season? Leave it in the comments below. Feel free to like and subscribe. This has been Austin from Calling Our Shot. Follow us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Calling Our Shot, as well as go check out our website, callingourshot.com. I'll be back soon. Peace out, guys.